I used to listen to a lot of talk radio, a lot of right-wing talk radio. I know who Medved is. He is somebody who is so gentle and palpable with his white supremacist views that it wouldn't surprise me if he, in some context, would be in favor of reparations. But because that context is removed, I'm expecting when he does this review of Donald Glover's video, was it This Is America? I'm expecting everything to be anti-reparation code. That is my prediction. So we're gonna listen to it when it comes on, and we'll see where I'm at. I'm just driving. I don't listen to talk radio anymore. Hardly ever. It's just my the cord for my phone speaker isn't working, and when I first got the car, because I don't listen. I like music, but I'm not gonna listen to the radio stations out here. So like the music stations. So it was tuned into a talk radio station. With me, it's either gonna be sports or politics. This time, I guess it was politics, so I'm listening to Michael Medved, and he said he gonna talk about Childish Gambino. So we're gonna hear how my impression of right-wing talk radio coming from a black power theorist, a black first individual, and my prediction is that everything he says is going to be, in result, no reparations. And this is interesting considering Donald Glover said, you talk about free thinking. He said one of the freest thinking things I ever heard. He actually said something, and I agree with him 100%, but just because I know how it plays in the media, I don't think I would say it. And it's true. He said that white people don't want to pay reparations because they're lazy. And he said something else about reparations. I don't remember, but damn. Talk about flipping the script. So let me see if he's back on. He's still got the commercial going. Yeah, well, let me see. I'm trying to think about what he said while I got some time. Donald Glover, Childish Gambino. It was, but you talk about free thinking. That's something that somebody like Kanye could not say. The costly thinkers could not say. The costly thinkers wanting to be free.
An artistic
all right, here we go.
As one of the most important statements ever about our
I hope
country.
you can hear it.
It's a music video called This Is America. And it's headlined over in Salon in a review by D. Watkins. It says, yes, this is America. Donald Glover makes us confront our country's violent horrors. And then the subtitle subheading is, as Childish Gambino, Atlanta creator Donald Glover shows us how ugly America really is. So how ugly is it? The song that he's written and that he performs, and he performs it bare-chested, wearing slacks, wielding a gun, shooting some kind of captive who was wearing a hood, and then shooting to death an entire church choir. But first, the church choir is there supporting him.
I like how African this song is.
And okay, I'm sorry, let me stop there. What they're saying is, yeah, go away. Yeah, go away. And then the deeply meaningful lyrics, we just want to party just for you. We just want the money just for you. It sounds like this.
Come on, Medved. You ain't grooving to this song, Medved. Don't tell me the message goes over his head. If it does, he's playing stupid, because
Stop.
we'll see.
What he's saying is, this is America. Don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping up. Look what I'm whipping up. This is America. Woo. Don't catch you slipping up. Don't catch you slipping up. Look what I'm whipping up. And then they continue. I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'm gonna go into this. Yeah, this is Gorilla. Yeah,
I bet Medved is behind that mic grooving.
I'm so cold.
Then when he started talking, he tightens his cheeks.
Okay, what that just said was, yeah, this is America. Woo, A. Guns in my area. Word, my area. I got the strap. A. I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'm a go. This. Hug. Yeah, this is Gorilla. Woo. Yeah, I'm a go get the bag. Yeah, I'm a get the pad. And then this. And it continues, and what this shows is he is later pursued by a group of people. He takes out an AK-47, he guns down this black church choir, which is dancing in his behalf. What's fascinating about this is people who have seen the FX series Atlanta, which is wildly popular and critically acclaimed.
I never heard of it.
7% fresh rating over Rotten Tomatoes. Donald Glover, the same guy who performs this song as Childish Gambino. And part of what I think is trying for in this very intoxicating and hooking song.
Oh, he said it was hooking. I knew he was grooving.
Typical person in the thug culture who may be delivering and dancing the way that he is because of the influence of pharmaceuticals.
No, now it went over his head.
We'll get to the continuing debate over that and whether this deserves.
Oh, now it went over his head. I thought he might have been there.
A masterpiece and an indictment of our entire country. Meanwhile, a quick word for relief
Turn it up
factor.
some.
If you've been feeling pain or stiffness or soreness, if
You had
you
to throw in
can't
the commercial.
climb the stairs the way you used to, if sometimes twisting open a jar lid in the kitchen is just too much for you, causes pain, or you're rolling over in bed with pain at night, no reason to put up with it. Go get Relief Factor. It's just $19.95, gets you a quick start, which provides you 3 weeks supply. You take a few packets a day, 3 usually, and it has an almost immediate impact. Most people report that within 4, 5, 6 days, they feel a very measurable difference, a reduction in the pain. This is without side effects, and you know what? It's just $19.95 for 3 whole weeks, and 80% of the people who get Relief Factor, get started with it, end up getting more. Go to ReliefFactor.com, that's ReliefFactor.com, or you can call them toll-free at 1-800-500-8384, that's 1-800-500-8384. We'll be right back. This is America, Masterpiece.
Okay, he's back, and so am I.
This is America, and which has been viewed about 35 million times. It's some stunning number. I am not sure that's the right number, but I think it's in the right ballpark. It's a cultural phenomenon, and
Okay.
it's one of those things where I've watched the video a couple of times, and there's no question. It's directed by the same guy who worked with Donald Glover, who is Childish Gambino. The same director as appears on Atlanta, and Atlanta is much more autobiographical than anything in this video about the real Donald Glover. The real Donald Glover graduated NYU with a a degree in dramatic writing, and he got a job almost right away after he graduated from 30 Rock.
Here it's
And
coming.
the
Privileged
person he
people.
plays on Atlanta is another extraordinarily bright, talented
That was
guy.
the spin. I knew it was
Really
coming.
is. And his
He
character
is representing
on the TV series.
black people in
But the
totality
character
in that video.
where he's dancing, and it's sort of a sinuous, and as people have commented, almost feminine kind of dancing. It's not hyper macho. And the one hyper macho.
That is intentional. A lot of this went over his head, but you know what didn't go over his head was that he had a college education and his parents were, you know, and he was
on why it's not safe to be
oh, listen.
a black man in America. Except here, the main black individual you see, it's true, the victims are black too, including the church choir that he guns down entirely.
Doesn't that have something to do with Dylan Roof, though?
Communion with him. Some of the critics say, oh, well, this is a reference to Dylan Roof.
There you go.
It's not a racist, hideous mass murder Ku Klux Klan sympathizer who guns down the church choir here. And
It's a
what it sounds
dichotomy
like the
between
end of
Dylan
the
Roof
video,
and a whole bunch of other things,
is
including
this.
violence within black people.
I just checked my following listen. You motherfuckers on me.
That's a reference to the doping and not so doping intoxication of capitalism. Because the dope came in between when he hit the joint. Medved was talking about how he's high on amphetamines. You projecting stuff that, because he talks a lot about the amphetamine epidemic with white folks.
Part of what he's saying here, according to people who try to transcribe it, is America, I just checked my following list, and you go tell somebody you owe me. Grandma told me, get your money, black man, black man. Get your money, black man, black man. Get your money, black man, get your black man. Get your money, black man, get your black man.
I don't know if that is a reference to reparations, but it sounds like he's taking it as such when you use those two words, "oh" and "me."
Get your money. Is this a plea for reparations?
Bingo! Did you hear that?
The difficulty about this,
Did you hear that?
people are saying, and how murderous our culture.
Did you hear that? You're not talking about reparations, but who is?
And it's something that we talk about on the show a lot. Is it a horror that we still lose thousands of people every year to murder? Yes. We lose far more people to suicide, almost twice as many. And this vision of a world that is constantly getting worse and people are gunned down. And
Did I not call that out?
we have made tremendous progress.
All that was in that video. He found the one thing that had to do with money, didn't he?
Cities that are safer and better than they once
And I'm
were.
telling y'all, that's why I did that video about how $3 trillion in reparations over 30 years ain't shit for America. We pay that in white supremacy damn near every 5 years at least.
Clearly as it possibly could from the
We owe the people who own our debt that money in white supremacy.
playing in this music video.
Amazing.
Dallas.
Do I not know these motherfuckers?
Hey, Michael, thanks for taking my call.
You bet.
I just want to make 2 points real quick. Okay.
Do I not know these
You
motherfuckers?
appear to be wearing some sort of black in the music video. Okay, so I read online that
Now we got the callers in here.
old Confederate war pants used in the Civil War,
Okay.
and that's why, like, he was
The slacks?
He's really trying to make a racism point in the song, which brings us to the next point that he can't really relate because, like you said, he has been so successful, and he's trying to bring something.
See, as always, black privilege, he's been so successful, so he can't see other people's point of view.
Well, again, could he be saying
I'm
here,
done.
because
See,
very much
that's what I
he's
mean.
a
I know these people.
black guy who
I used to be basically a white conservative.
Confederate war pants.
I know these people. With them, it is about the money. It is about reparations. I did not call this shit out. Could I not have called it out more than I did? My God. My man. And now he's got a caller, and that's back on there. It's clockwork with them. And that's why I say that video and when he said that white people are lazy and that's why they don't pay reparations.
Hey, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is free thought. Candace Owens is cost you generational wealth thought. It ain't free. It's cost a nigga thought.
And I almost have to put earplugs in to be able to work with them. But
oh my goodness.
They don't really understand what they're listening to. The music has such a catchy beat that you can't help but listen to it, and they're just getting brainwashed with this garbage.
Well, you know, again, this is the point. That's why I read the actual lyrics, because it's very hard to understand. And at the same time, there is...
You caught the message when it came to reparations. It's very hard to understand. He had trouble understanding everything except for "Oh me" and "Get Your Money, Black Man," even though "Get Your Money, Black Man" was probably had more to do with chasing capitalism than reparations. But I'm not saying it didn't have something to do with reparations, because since Donald Glover talked about reparations, so maybe. But what did it mean to Michael Medved? I'll rest my case. I'm done. Later.
Why don't you just ask Home Advisor? On what?
Okay, we're going to double or nothing. I'm going to play the Young Turks, because I just got a notification saying the Young Turks is having a show on this same video. Double or nothing. I'm going to predict that they don't mention reparations. Instead, they had mentioned panaceas and acknowledgement, because that's what you typically get from liberals. Republicans are anti-black power because money is power. So when it comes to reparations, they will find it, and it's always why it shouldn't happen. Or they'll actually, at times, they'll make an argument for it, but it'll be something like, well, maybe we should give black people or descendants of slaves. They always reduce it to slavery. Forget all the other human rights violations. They'll say, maybe we should give them free education, which it ends up being a form of mental slavery, or potentially. So I don't really trust that. I'm not, to me, that's like, you steal from me, and now you want to turn around and say, oh, well, how about if I teach you something for free? I'll teach you how to steal from other people. The hell with that. So
The president says they will negotiate with 5 countries still in the deal, and one of those U.S. allies, France, is pledging to work on a broader agreement. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the president is...
Oh, boy. So this one I can't do live. I can't do a live reaction of, because I'm in the car, I'm about to go somewhere. So I'm going to listen to it on my headphones, and if I'm wrong, I will say, hey, the liberals are less predictable. They were talking about reparations too. If I'm right, I'll put a link to the video, and you can check out the panaceas and the acknowledgement and the sympathy, because that's typically what you get. They're about the money too. Because you notice, they are about the money too. And there are some exceptions. I don't believe in that whole liberal boogeyman thing. All that is you intentionally telling yourself not to think and be discerning. There are some liberals that are about black empowerment. Mainstream position isn't. So that's my prediction in this case with the Young Turks. It could go either way with the Young Turks, but if I'm a bet man, I'm betting that we're going to get some panaceas and some sympathy cards when they respond to this video. And it'll probably get a lot of accolades and all that. Liberals they're more into the music, at least on the front. I bet you Medved was grooving. I know he was grooving. So in a minute, later, ciao. Yeah, I watched the Young Turks video. 2 for 2. 2 for 2. They did not mention reparations. I'm gonna let that video play. Well, actually, I'm not gonna play the video because I don't want no copyright sweat, even though I don't think Young Turks would do that unless this shit goes viral. Then it might make them look predictable, at least, because they didn't mention reparations. And it was a lot of acknowledgement and sympathy. The interesting thing is they understood everything in that video practically. They understood that video better than me. But they didn't mention reparations at all. So no solutions. They didn't even really mention a panacea, but they do that. Like the type of solutions the Young Turks will mention is they'll say cops will need to be punished, or they'll say they need better training. You know, I'm with you on the punishment, on the training. I'm like, I don't know if that really matters, because how bad is the training to where they would do some of the things they've been caught doing on video? So the punishment, yeah, that should be obvious. But to me, it's that right there. Let that be an example. And I told you I know these people. That shit was live. There's no way I could predict that. If my tape adapter was working, I wouldn't even been listening to right-wing radio. I don't listen to it anymore for that very reason. I already know it better than it knows itself. When you got those young right-wing dudes and dudettes, I know what they're gonna say. And when you got people like Candace Owens that are on that tip, I know what she's gonna say too. Because I've been there, done that. I know them as well as I know anything. So then they're simple. It's not saying much. They're really simple. They're really predictable. We got to learn. We are between a rock and a sunken place when it comes to ideologues. Especially if you're thinking power. If you're thinking power, this is a perfect example of what this is all about. This is a perfect example of why I am okay with Ebro not wanting Candace Owens on his platform. Because he might not be hip, but he knows what's up. He knows something's up, I should say. He might not know what's up, but he knows something's up. I'd be fine talking to Candace Owens anytime, anywhere, because I can cut through the bullshit. And I would tell her beforehand, I'm like, this is how I'm going to cut through your bullshit. And you know what would happen? If she got the chance, she would avoid me. She would get that call from her handlers, and they were like, you know what? You want to avoid this guy. You don't want to fuck with him. That's why I'm disappointed at Kanye. Because brother Danny Glover, imagine if he would have, I won't even go there. I'm just going to let it, I'm going to let this play. And you can just see how different it is, how they speak on the video compared to Michael Medved's values.
Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino, released his new music video and song this weekend, This Is America, and people are very excited about it. There's a lot of symbolism and commentary that we're gonna get into now. Now, we can't show you the video because of copyright, but we're gonna show you some screenshots and go into some of the most pertinent and important symbolism that is present in this video. So the first image is of him shooting this man here. And what's interesting is in the beginning, he starts dancing, right? And some of his dancing is very exaggerated. Some are saying that it is a caricature of a character. A lot of people are saying that it resembles Jim Crow, and you can see that image now, where he is being compared in that way. You can see a lot of even the stance is very similar there. And so he's in this stance while he shoots this man. Nothing happens. He gives the gun to somebody. They take it in a red cloth. They're treating the gun very nicely. And then the man is sort of dragged away. So a lot of people are saying that that's like a commentary on gun violence in America, how we really put guns on a pedestal before human life. And I think we have seen that time and time again. And that's really, Donald Glover's commentary on this.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a brilliant video and an excellent political commentary, social commentary on America. It's not an accident that it's called "This Is America."
Right.
And so first of all, I want to end the debate as to if he meant it. Of course he meant it. So when he shoots the guy, nobody cares about the guy, but then they care about the gun and they treat it so gently. That's obviously a statement on the current state of America. His exaggerated dance moves are an obvious reference to how America views blacks historically as entertainers and are happy to have them entertain them, but their actual bodies, their dead bodies, are less relevant and don't get the attention. And he really emphasized that throughout the video.
Yeah, you can see that a lot throughout the video because a lot of what he's doing these very popular dance moves that were made popular by people within the black community. And he's doing that at the forefront while in the background, so much is going on. So we can go straight to TA-72 where you can see him dancing around where all of this violence, there's a police car, all of this craziness is going on in the background, which is really, to your point, Jang, talking about how we're happy to elevate black entertainers. We're happy to appreciate black culture and appreciate black music. But then when it comes to violence against black people, nobody really cares. Everybody's focusing on what's on the forefront. And that's very problematic in our country, and that this is America.
Yeah, and so the dichotomy of how we treat black entertainers versus the far more common African-American experience in this country is what he's pointing out again in a way that I think is amazing, saying like the real problems are in the background and no one cares. And in fact, they'll actively fight against it and fight against fixing it. But as long as you're dancing in front of people and entertaining them, they're like, okay, that's good, we like that. And then of course there's the Charleston reference.
Yeah, so where you can see this real back and forth in the video between joy and pain. And so there's these, choir members, you think they're just singing the chorus. He comes in with what looks like some sort of semi-automatic weapon, and he's dancing and then just shoots them all without even blinking an eye. Keeps on dancing the bodies are left just to remain there, whereas the gun again is taken carefully away from him and he remains untouched, unscathed, which is, similar to what happened in the 2015 Charleston shooting, where this man just went in, shot up a church. He was not treated, he obviously went to jail, but was not treated forcibly or anything like that.
So the famous story about how they treated the Charleston shooter was that the cops, once they arrested him, took him to a Burger King and got him a meal. And so that got under a lot of people's skin, very understandably. And so people said, well, a choir, and is that over the top? No, the Charleston shooting happened at a church, at a Bible study. They were at a Bible study, they were at a church. It was a joyous moment. Guy came in, murders them, and walks out, and then the cops give him Burger King. And so, of course, it's a reference to that, and well done again.
Yeah.
And part of the meta symbolism here is he's saying, if all you're going to do is focus on us singing and entertaining you, well, then I'm going to put it in the song, and I'm going to put it in the video. Perfect. I love that.
Yeah, everything in this video is so genius. Even the next part, he has, he says, this is a celly, that's a tool. Okay, and so that's a reference to Stephon Clark, but also the fact that people are now using cell phones to really document what is happening within the black community, especially police brutality against them. And it's so great that he talks about that. You can use this as a tool. And I love that he does that. And then the last scene is him running through this extremely dark hallway with his eyes bulging. And many are saying that that's a reference to The Sunken Place, a reference back to Get Out.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in this video, but it is genius. All the symbolism is there. And I watched it at least 5 times, and every time I felt like I noticed something different and something new. And I'm probably missing still half of the symbolism that he put into this.
Yeah, I am too, and I hope one day he explains it all, or maybe he doesn't and leaves it as a work of art. But so the Stephon Clark, of course, was shot by the cops in his own backyard. He had a cell phone, and the cops said they shot him because they were worried that it was a tool. And so they thought it was a tool that he was using to break into cars. It turns out, no, it was a cell phone. and he did not have any weapon at all. And I don't know if it's a reference to the sunken place when he's running out, or just a commentary on African Americans running from the police. And oftentimes people will say, why were they running in the first place? And after you've seen all the carnage in the video, who in their right mind wouldn't run?
Yeah.
Right? So either way, incredibly well put together. And it had this funny effect on me. So his series, Atlanta, is really well received. It's got a ton of great reviews from critics, etc. But I just, like, it's hard to keep up with all the shows and stuff. But after watching this video, I'm like, no, that's it. I'm gonna go back and watch Atlanta.
I believe it's
this guy
the same
is awesome.
director. I believe it's the same director who did both of them. Yeah, I mean, he's amazing. He's so multi-talented, and there's so many things in this video. Another aspect, one thing I want to bring up is he has the white horse and with the cloaked henchman on it, which is a reference to the apocalypse. And he's saying, "This is America," and that's kind of how I feel every day. But I can't even imagine for the Black community that is going through all of this, just constant violence and just disrespect by our country.
Yeah, and it's apparently the first horse of the apocalypse, and it's in the background while he's still dancing. And everybody's paying attention to the dancing while the apocalypse has begun.